Today, everyone has an opinion on the cast of the Mario movie, including the cast of the Mario movie, but not this one. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. My move has completed successfully. How are you feeling after yours, Beej?
That was a bit, Graham. I'm not moving. How are you feeling?
Absolutely shattered, Beej. Thanks for asking. Wait, if that was a bit, who did we sell our condo to?
As always, the answer is ghosts, Graham. Rich, old Victorian ghosts. The only people who have money anymore.
Activision Blizzard is racking up lawsuits faster than we can report on them, to the extent that, since our last episode, they've had another suit leveled against them and agreed to settle it. This time it was the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, another federal-level body, who claimed female employees of Activision Blizzard had been subjected to sex-based discrimination and harassment, including pregnancy and wage discrimination compared to male employees, while victims who complained about this discrimination were subject to dismissal. Basically all stuff that we've mentioned previously, as discovered during the course of the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing's 2-year investigation of the company prior to their lawsuit, which is still ongoing, as is the investigation from the Securities and Exchange Commission, but in this case, Activision Blizzard made this one go away by agreeing to set up a fund for affected employees. And according to their press release, quote, any amounts not used for claimants will be divided between charities that advance women in the video game industry or promote awareness around harassment and gender equality issues, as well as company diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, meaning Activision Blizzard gets to use that money to pay for improving their own internal processes, which is something they've agreed to do as part of the settlement, but I mean, they also agreed to do it before and didn't, so I guess we'll see how this all shakes out. And by the way, that fund, it's $18 million. Activision Blizzard had a 2020 revenue of $8.1 billion. To put that into perspective, because big numbers are basically meaningless to you or I, the median income of a 35-year-old in Canada is $51,000, which must be nice. But this is the equivalent of telling that 35-year-old to put $112 in a naughty jar because they made that $51,000 by being shitty. Seems to me the cost-benefit analysis says, keep being shitty. It's profitable so far.
Sonic the Hedgehog is back! In parade form! To be frank, the only reason I know about this story is because it comes up in my weekly RSS feed for Sonic Inflation. To celebrate his 30th birthday, Sonic is returning to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, despite the harm he poses to the general public. You hadn't heard? In his first appearance in 1993, he stabbed his own eye on a lamppost, and the resulting debris injured an off-duty police officer and a 10-year-old girl. They never put that in any of the video games, did they? Then, 2 years later, he assaulted a tree, which was just minding its own business. And I thought Sonic was supposed to care about the environment. At least one of them does. Maybe the Archie Comics one? Anyway, he kept coming back and getting removed over and over, and we haven't seen him since 2013, which, coincidentally, was the same year that Sonic's original games all came to the Ouya. And how could you do that, Sega? How could you pull the beloved mascot of the Ouya? Anyway, Sonic's back in for his 30th, teaching kids everywhere that even if your output consistently sucks in your 20s, when you turn 30, you're owed a parade!
We previously mentioned in one of our hilarious post-show bantering segments that everyone seems to love more than the stuff we spend hours scripting, but really we're not bitter, and I'm quite sincere when I say that, despite the general sarcastic tone of my voice, that a kinda new Castlevania game was out on Apple Arcade. The almost released, then cancelled, now actually released, but without all the microtransactions, Castlevania Grimoire of Souls is an attempt for the series to stay current, according to director Yota Tsutsumizaki in an interview with Axios. Konami's last major Castlevania release came in 2014 before series producer Koji Igarashi left the company and went on to make Bloodstained, the spiritual successor to the Castlevania. Since then, the Netflix animated series has introduced new fans to the franchise, and the forthcoming re-release of older games for Nintendo Switch promises to only do that more, so what's the deal with maybe a new Castlevania title? Well, according to Tsutsumizaki, that's up to us. Quote, "I think it depends on what our users say," he said, as if Castlevania fans haven't been asking for a new game basically without pause since before the last one came out. To the extent that we successfully funded over $5.5 million for Igarashi to make the Castlevania game you wouldn't let him make at Konami. Look, I know you like your Metal Gear Solid pachinko machines, but you want to make some real money? Listen to what people have been screaming at you loudly for years and make a Castlevania game that isn't, and I played Metal Gear Survive so I know this part is tricky, shit!
Speaking of modern-day Castlevania properties, Netflix already made some video games, but now they want to, make video games. And the easiest way to do that is buy a studio. In this case, it's Night School Studio, developers of indie sensation Oxenfree. Don't worry, Night School is still making Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, and it'll still be launching for consoles and PC, so it's not like Netflix is forcing it onto some sort of unannounced proprietary microconsole they've got in development in a bid to try to carve off a piece of the $151 billion video game market that's getting bigger every year. They don't have anything in development, by the way. I just wanted to put up a picture of the Ouya again and get everyone to shit their pants. Netflix already has a games app in Italy, Poland, and Spain, so they've already been dipping their toes in this water. Netflix game dev VP Mike Verdu said that games will eventually be part of a standard Netflix subscription, all with no ads and no in-app purchases. And Netflix COO Greg Peters thinks that right now, quote, is the right time to learn more about how our members value games. And hey, as someone who watches Netflix, I value free games and not paying more to play said games, so I'm already on board. At least until my parents cancel their subscription, then I guess I'll see who else has an open slot. It sounds like Netflix is really in this for the long haul, but just as a heads up, please be aware you're joining an industry full of cautionary tales on employee relations. So don't fuck this up.
The voice cast for the new Super Mario Bros. Movie was being announced during the time we were recording last week, so by now all the hottest takes and goofs of our later realizing it's going to be an animated movie was a hell of a trip. But I digress. Yes, the flagrantly stunt cast ensemble for the Mario movie includes Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Seth Rogen, Keegan-Michael Key, and Fred Armisen, among others. Don't worry about who's playing who, just randomly assign roles in your head and it makes just about as much sense as any other option. But among the many taking issue with the casting is the original Hollywood Luigi, John Leguizamo, who played the younger Mario brother in 1993's Super Mario Bros., across from Bob Hoskins' Mario and Dennis Hopper's King Koopa. Leguizamo complains about the lack of diversity in the lead cast, but finishes his tweet by saying, quote, "Plus, I'm the only one who knows how to make this movie work script-wise, and I have to know. I just have to know, because the real one is being made by the company that makes Minions and The Secret Life of Pets, directed by two guys who worked on Teen Titans Go to the movies and not much else, and written by the screenwriter for the upcoming Minions movie and the third Big Mama's House movie. And I don't mean among other things. Those are his only screenwriting credits on IMDb. So, fuck it. I think we should hear what John Luigi Zammo is suggesting.
Now I kind of want to see a Mario Brothers movie actually written by Luigi.
Like the character from the games?
Yeah, you can't tell me that Luigi doesn't have a screenplay or two tucked away somewhere.
Oh, yeah. He and Lakitu making B-grade horror flicks while the rest of the kingdom politely obliges them.
Bowser loves them.
Bowser loves them!
Coming up, Konami is at least doing something for Castlevania's 35th anniversary with a limited edition soundtrack exclusive to Japan that costs 28,500 yen, or $256 US, or 2,200 Norwegian kroner. And while that might seem a ridiculous price for a soundtrack, it's on 26 CDs. So actually, that's the ridiculous part.
Do you have a hot take opinion on the voice cast for the Mario movie? Do you care?
I only care about things I'm going to participate in, Graham.
Are you going to watch the movie?
Christ, no.
No?
I don't even think I'm curious. Mm-hmm. Like, when I just saw everybody's, I was like, I have to see this. And then I was thinking about it a little more. I'm like, I don't have to do anything, God damn it.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
no.
The thing is, when it comes out and when we see trailers and teasers and all sorts of other stuff, I'll probably watch one of those and I'll make a decision as to how I think, because I will give it this. Chris Pratt did say, and let's ignore everything else about what we've heard about his church and what his church believes and what his politics are and whatever else. He did say, you got to hear the voice I'm going to do. And I'm like,
did he really?
He did say that, and I'm like, I do have to know then.
You got to hear the voice I'm going to do. Trust me.
Is everyone going to do a voice? And then therefore, can I at least hear what everyone's voices are going to be? Because that will be interesting.
Now, he was the lead in the Lego movie.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the little man in the Lego movie. He did a great job at that.
I would have absolutely. I had no idea.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, sure. If you know, we've done the Chris Power rankings, and you know, sadly for him, he did come in last as worst Chris.
Right.
Right behind Evans, Hemsworth, Pine, and Rock. But
glad that Chris Rock made it in there. That's good. All right.
I think. I don't know. Anyway, but you know, he could do voice. It's just like it seems so weird that it's like it's all those people, and then they're like, and Charles Martinet will be there doing surprise cameos, which is clearly just like to sate the fan base.
Yeah.
To be like, how can you not have Charles Martinet do the voice? He does all the voices.
Yeah.
He does all the voices. Well, not Peach, but like...
I have to imagine that the reason you don't cast him is because the level of understandability of like when he's doing short bits of Mario, it's fine.
He doesn't do extensive dialogue.
Yeah, and when it comes down to dialogue, it's like we don't know what that would even sound like. And maybe they thought that will people go in and sit down and listen to an entire movie where the main character sounds like this and is saying all this really serious shit?
Yeah.
You know,
look,
I'm assuming the movie's going to be real dark.
I think that for animated movies you should hew towards voice actors rather than stunt casting for marketing attention.
Yeah.
That said, these are actors. They can do the job.
Yeah.
So like it was surprising, and I do think it's funny, and it's just sort of like it definitely looked like a shit post. Just like it's Chris Pratt and Anya Taylor-Joy.
You've heard of her,
Jack
right?
Black is Bowser, and we're gonna get Seth Rogen to play Donkey Kong, and it's like you're making this up. This is a joke.
Yeah.
This is a joke post. Where's Donkey? Right? But you know, it'll probably be fine. The voice acting will probably be fine. I am more worried that it's being made by Illumination, who again they've made Despicable Me and then all the Minions movies and The Secret Life of Pets, and that's the kind of movies that they make, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, Miyamoto is involved in the story, but like I'm just worried that it's going to be like a very like North American lowest common denominator focused, like, oh, we'll fill it full of jokes and references.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of movie we're going to make.
Yeah.
Who's this? Hello. Ah. That was not a real phone call.
Oh, that's good. That was you faking a phone call.
Yeah, just to get out of this conversation about talking about Mario.